Hello everybody, here we are today talking about Juraj Slavkovsky and his recent good form and why it's happening. So before we start talking about that, please make sure to subscribe if you're new to me or hockey, whatever the case may be. That being said, let's get on into it. So Juraj was taken with the top pick in the 2022 draft and joined a Habs side that had recently played in the Stanley Cup Final. This was big because obviously Montreal recently competing for a championship and getting the #1 overall draft pick was a big deal. And Juraj was very interesting because right away you noticed his size. That was a big thing in this draft. The Habs saw a player that might have been NHL ready in terms of the physical build, because to see a guy go out there that's 6'3", 6'4", 230 and 240 at 18 years old is really remarkable in this day and age, because you'll see a lot of younger guys that really have to work out in the weight room, especially to get on some muscle to be able to function at the NHL level. Now, I do think that this was one of those deals where the rookie year you're hoping for something big to happen, but it didn't necessarily happen. 10 points in 39 games played. So you're hoping to see this big physical presence that can go out there and possibly see this offensive production. You didn't really get that, and a lot of people were having their excitement fizzle out over him relatively early, but I kind of want to argue against that. One, 18-year-olds get drafted all the time. Juraj was 18 when he got drafted. Two, you are seeing young guys have to adjust to the NHL style, the NHL strength, the NHL speed. And the lifestyle is just totally different as you have a foreign-born player going over to a different country trying to learn and adjust on the fly. Now, this season, expectations were higher for Juraj, as you would say, now we need to see a little bit something more. However, in his first 31 games played, he only had 8 points, only 2 goals in that span, not a lot to show for it. He was laying a lot of hits, but there wasn't a lot of shots, and you're hoping for more offense, and more people are starting to say, is Juraj potentially a bust, or is he going to be more of a long-term project? However, we are seeing a big shift over his past 20 games as he has 15 points in that span. And of course, we get to talk now about what's happened in that span and why he is seeing more of an offensive production. So what has happened during this run? Well, we have seen him have 12 games with points in this spell with 3 multi-point nights. So 12 games out of 20 with points, 3 multi-point nights, not a bad deal there. On top of that, too, none of these are empty net points, which is really good if you're considering that he could be taking advantage of that and having a little bit of a stat padding, excuse me. But here things are true, and on top of that too, he's going from about 16 minutes a night to about 18 and a half with about a minute more power play action. You really love to see that for him. A big reason that I truly think that there is a turnaround is pretty simple. He's playing a lot more time with Cole Caulfield and Nick Suzuki. Through his first 31 games, he played 144 minutes with them, about 4 minutes a night. And then if I got my stats right here, I'm only off by a game if I didn't get them right. He has played 310 minutes in 20 games, so about 15 minutes a night. So to see an increase there of 4 to 15 is big. And you would likely say that playing with these guys that are the young Habs, that are the proven Habs, if you will, that this is going to help him out. Now, last season we saw him play a lot with Christian Dvorak. We saw him play a lot with Josh Anderson. Nothing against those players, but the reality is, look at a guy like Cole. Look at the year that he had last year. And look at a guy like Nick Suzuki that is seen as a very good young two-way center in the NHL. It's easy to understand why you would see more production with them. Now, they haven't been particularly dominant at 5-on-5 or even strength. Their goals for percentage is below 50%. However, on the power play, things have gone pretty well during this run as they've outscored teams 12-1. That's good. You want to be able to score on the power play, and to see Juraj get about 3 minutes a night on the man advantage is going to be something that could and should help him out with the offensive production. Now, at the end of the day, what do I think is happening here? I think that you're seeing Martin St. Louis realize that, hey, this season we're probably not going to make the playoffs, and he again made that adjustment back in December for the Lions and seeing how that worked. I don't know the particular reason. Maybe he just decided to do that. I couldn't find a for sure article online about why that happened, but possibly as well to see what Juraj could do with better offensive play with him. So he is a former first overall pick. You want to be able to say that you gave him a chance. And now you're seeing him at a pace of 62 points over a full 82-game season if you're looking at this 20-game stretch. Now, is this 20-game stretch going to be indicative of what he is? I can't tell you, but I do know this. This is really going to be a situation where Juraj's confidence should grow, and on top of that, too, you could get some chemistry with him, let's say going down the line, that they don't play as a line together, but in the case of a couple of years, there's an injury for whatever line he's playing on. Maybe he gets to go and play with him again, and you could say, well, there is a little bit of a familiarity as they've played on a line before, and maybe on the power play, you could say we could throw him out there as the top power play unit. Again, as you jumble lines in the NHL over the course of a season, I would say that it's not going to be completely impossible they don't get to play together. Now, is he a top line caliber player for you at the moment? I don't really know one way or the other. I'm going to say no, because we still have to see what we're getting from him, but for a very young player that has shown that there is some potential, this is all spelling good things for him, and hopefully he is able to build off this not only this season, but going into next season. And finally, I did want to say, I'm not necessarily saying that this is the player he will be, but my mindset here is maybe Juraj can be the guy that we thought Josh Anderson would be. With Anderson, we saw the 2018-19 season where I think he hit 60 points. This power forward that can play a physical style, that can give your team that energy, but can also give your stadium that bit of energy as well while getting that offensive production. Juraj is somebody that will lay hits, that will lay a lot of pressures, or just give you a lot of pressure, forecheck, heavy, stuff like that, and is in a spot now where if he is a 60-point player on average, with this amount of ice time, you kind of wonder about what he could be for you. And I think where I'm really excited for this is knowing that the Habs fan base really does appreciate effort. They really do appreciate big hits, and hopefully for Slavkovsky, he is somebody that gets to stick around for the long-term future and gets to build a name for himself and gets to build this team up to where it used to be. So what are your thoughts on Juraj? Do you think that he is going to be able to carry this momentum into next year? Do you think he deserves to play with Cole and Nick? Do you think part of the reason why he was being held back last year was playing a lot of minutes with guys like Josh Anderson? Let me know all that stuff down below in the comments. Also, please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. Everybody stay safe. Have a great night, and you go love hockey, alright. Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.